we're gonna do a mukbang and tell the story of my haunted house part 2. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn your post notifications on. And let's get right into the video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing my haunted house part 2 and mukbang, whatever you want to call it, of KFC. The right of me, I have my little sister,
Kylie,
my big brother,
Joel,
me, Cassie, your favorite, and then on the left side of me is my mom,
Christina.
And so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications, and if you haven't watched part 1, I suggest you do. It's just a little certain things that happened to me on this video is going to be the more horrific, you want to call it, right? Like the more detailed of what happened. So yeah, let's get right into the video. Okay, where do we start? Okay, dude, you're so awkward.
I'm staring at the camera. What do you want me to do?
Y'all make me awkward.
I'm fixing to eat. I'm hungry.
And you saying it's restored. You're gonna say restored to Cassie again.
This is the third time you've gone through this.
Okay, we're gonna. Oh, I guess I'll start off. I'm gonna start off from where I last left off in part 1. You remind me like a chicken. Ow! Okay. See y'all. This is why we can't tell story times, because no one in this family is serious. So, I'm gonna start off where I last left off in part 1, where I had to stay behind from not KFC, Pizza Hut, and to meet up with my boyfriend. And when my brother had gone home, I had told him what I was experiencing of that somebody was trying to open the front and the back door, and there was nobody there. And then he started to tell me what he had experienced. So yeah, he's gonna go ahead and tell y'all what he experienced, what he had told me, what you experienced in the house. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat throughout this whole video.
Well, the earliest experience that I had was, I was just hearing, I was hearing footsteps. I was hearing like slight footsteps. I was hearing slight noises in the house, but it was never really severe. I was just kind of ignoring it, like push it off, push it off, push it off, push it off. And then one day, whenever I actually had like contact, I guess you could say, I was laying in bed, I was asleep, and all of a sudden I got punched in the nose, and the force was so heavy that I could push my head back into the pillow, and I jumped up automatically because I thought somebody was there. I thought one of them punched me in the face, and I looked around and there was nobody there. That was the first actual interaction. And then the ones that got crazy were my mom and dad, they came, they were like, hey, we're gonna go to New Mexico, do you want to come? And I was like, no. I was like, at the time we weren't having, things were going bad in the house, and I would rather stay away from everybody. So my vacation was technically getting away from everybody, so I was just like, no, I want to go ahead and I'll stay here. So they took off. They went to New Mexico. They left. That was on a Friday. Saturday came along. I was, in my room playing my game as normal. And I would always have one headphone on, one headphone off, just in case if I were to hear something. It was about 3 in the morning. I got up to go use the restroom. And I always have the hallway light on. So I got up, go to the restroom. I get out, and I go and I sit down on my chair, and I have my door wide open. The hallway light's on, and out of nowhere, I hear these loud bangs. and then I hear these loud bangs walking. So it was just like a constant like, right? And then I'm like, they were loud. Like it automatically caught my attention. I was like, what the heck? And in our kitchen at the time, we had tile. We had like tile floors, and my mom had this cabinet of nothing but breakable glass.
A hutch.
She had this hutch that was nothing but breakable glass. And every time you would stomp heavy, it would like shake all the glass. So I knew what it sounded like. And I heard the glass shaking. All I hear is the glass like tinging against each other. And then it transitioned to our living room, which was wood. So I heard the transition from tile to wood. And once it got to the wood part, all you heard a stomp, and then you heard a drag right behind it. It was a stomp, just, and then a drag. Ooh, I got mashed potato in my hand. It was a stomp and a drag. And I heard it getting closer and closer and closer to me. So as this stomping's still happening, I look down the hallway, and I'm just staring at the hallway. Because I know that around, the only way to the living room is through that door to the hallway. So I was just staring down the hall, waiting for it. And I heard it getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And as it started getting closer to the hallway light started flickering as if it was about to, turn off. So it starts flickering out of nowhere. I'm just staring down the hallway waiting for something to come around that corner. And as the light starts flickering, it starts going faster. I'm thinking it's about to bust, but it ends up just staying on, and then I don't hear no more stomping or dragging. So I'm staring down the hallway for still I'm positive it was like 5 minutes still, and nothing came around the corner. So I was like, well, what the heck? So I get up, and I finally decide, I gotta go check see what it was. So I get up, I turn on my flashlight on my phone. I turn on every freaking light in the house, and I check everything. I'm checking windows, I'm checking doors, I'm checking the garage, I'm checking everything that, any possible entryway into the house to see if everything was locked, everything was closed, if everything was okay. And everything was locked and closed. And as I looked at the wood floor, I saw like these markings. It looked like burn marks, kind of like burned on the wood. And I was like, well, what the heck? And that was Saturday night. Sunday night, the same thing. It was about 3-something in the morning. This time I had my door closed and the hallway light on because I didn't want to, experience whatever that was on Saturday.
And he never even told us about this, keep in mind. He never even texted us or called us and let us know what was going on here at the house while we were over there.
I didn't let him know until they came back. But Sunday night, it was around 3 in the morning. Would it be Sunday night or technically Monday? It would be technically Monday, but it was Sunday at 3 in the morning, if you get what I mean. And and I have my door shut. I'm playing the game. Headphone went on, went off, as always. I'm playing the game. And then out of nowhere, I hear Cassie. I hear Cassie's voice down the hallway. I hear her say, "Hey Jay, come here." So I get up from my chair, whatever. I'm about to take off my headset, and then right when I was about to open the door, it clicked in my head like, wait, nobody's here. I was like, nobody's here. They're all in New Mexico. So I start backing away from my door, and then I go and I sit on my bed. And I'm just staring at the door. Oh wait, I skipped a part. Before, I was playing the game, and then I went, and I think I was going to bed. Yeah, I was going to bed. I laid down, and it was pitch black in my room. I always like to sleep in the pitch dark. And I heard the door open. Because my door creaked when it opened, so it was like it creaked. So I heard a creak open, and I thought it was a cat, because we had multiple cats in the house at the time. And I didn't think nothing of it. I waited for the cat to jump on my bed like they always do. There wasn't a jump on the bed. So I was like, well, what the heck? So I So I turn on my flashlight and I look at the door, and my door's shut, you know? So I was like, maybe I was hearing stuff. And I heard the creak in the door again. I turn on my flashlight, I look, and my door's shut. But the third time, I was ready for it to hear that creak in the door. And as soon as I heard that little creak, I turned on my light and I looked real quick and I saw the door like shut. Like it opened up and then it shut real quick. And that's whenever I heard Cassie's voice. I heard Cassie down the hallway saying, "Hey Jay, come here." 'Cause everybody called me Jay. I was like, "Hey Jay, come here." So that's whenever I get up and I'm about to go to the door now. And as soon as I'm about to open the door, it clicks in my head that, you know, nobody's here. Everybody's in New Mexico. So I start backing away from my door and I go sit back on my bed and I'm looking at the doorway. And I hear it again. I hear Cassie's voice. "Hey Jay, come here." I didn't get up. I didn't even budge. I'm just staring at the door. And then I hear it again. But this time, I heard a little whisper behind it. So it was Cassie like, "Hey Jay, come here." And then it was like, "Hey Jay, come here." Like a whisper. It was a male's voice behind her voice, echoing behind it. And this is the part that starts going, you know, crazy, because as the whatever it was repeating, "Hey Jay, come here," it was getting angrier and angrier and angrier because I wasn't getting up to go open the door. And the hallway light was off. I looked at the bottom of my door. Normally I could see the light. The light was off. And I hear Cassie's voice getting closer and closer and closer to my door saying, "Hey Jay, come here. Hey Jay, come here. Hey Jay, come here. Hey Jay, come here." But with that male's voice behind it, whispering and whispering and whispering, echoing. And then finally got closer and closer and closer to my door, and then I could feel the presence of it was a heavy, dark presence. And
Told y'all it was a demon.
It was right at my door. And then I hear Cassie again, "Hey Jay, come here," like right at my door, like if somebody's talking to you directly on the other side of the door. I don't get up. I'm over here. At that point, you know, I'm terrified because I don't know if somebody's in my house. I don't know what it is. I don't know anything. So at that point, I'm terrified, and I'm over here. I'm sweating. I can feel my heart racing. All I know is that I'm waiting for that door to open and whatever's on the other side to come in, you know? And I waited and waited and waited and waited and waited, and it never opened the door. And eventually, it ended up passing. Like I felt the heavy, dark presence just wander away.
Vanish.
Yeah, just like disappear. And once I felt it disappear, and I knew that the entity or whatever wasn't there, like my body calmed down. But as soon as I calmed down, I think I fainted or I passed out, because all I remember is falling sideways and then waking up the next morning in a panic because I didn't know what happened. I woke up in a panic because I didn't even know I fell asleep. I remember just like opening my eyes and getting up real quick, like what the heck happened? And I know it wasn't a dream.
Right.
It wasn't a dream, and I know that for a fact. I think I just passed out. But
because this presence was so strong.
Yeah,
It wasted so much of your energy.
It was just crazy.
And not only that, like what's it called? Let me see. I mean, go ahead. Tell your side.
I only got one story.
Well, tell both of them, even though I told it.
Tell your one story.
Okay. So, one day, like in that house, my sister had her so-called best friend, who's a demon in that said house. And so, one day, me being the annoying little sister I was getting on her nerves. And she was getting mad at me, and she was saying, "Stop it, or I'm gonna send my best friend to visit you in your dreams." And she had used that so many times, so I was just like, "Okay, go ahead, I don't care." And so she looked around the house while I was yelling out, "Best friend, visit my little sister in her dreams."
Because she's making me mad, or she's annoying me, one of those, or she's not listening.
Or
They
all
were
three
always
in
fighting
one.
with each other.
And so I was like, okay, I don't care, because she used that all the time. And so...
No, and then sometimes you would cry, and because you would be so scared because you were still little. Then you would tell mom, mommy, and dad, and they would get me in trouble.
Well, yeah, but like I stopped caring because you said it so often. And so this time she yells out around the house, like while looking around, saying, "Okay, best friend, visit her in her dreams." And so that night, I slept in my brother's room with him. And so like I started dreaming, like me and my brother were sitting in my dream. Me and my brother were sitting on his bed. I was crisscross applesauce. But I could see me and him. So when we had a phone, we were gonna take a picture. And it was like I was the phone. And it said recording on it, like in the corner, like if you had a camcorder or something. So like I could see through there. And my brother was like, "Hold up, I'll be back. I'm gonna go get something." So he got up and left. And I was like, "Okay." And I put my hand down. But since my view is through the phone camera, like it started like I started backing up towards like where I was in the corner of the wall, and I could still see me, and I'm there. I could see myself like crisscross applesauce just there. And then I think my sister had called me in my dream, so I got up and went walking over there, and in my spot was a girl sitting exactly like I was with long black hair, looking down where her hair was in her face. And then all of a sudden, like she slowly just looked up to where I could see. Like so, she looked up to the corner of the room at the camera, which was where I could see. And like, let me tell you, when I say this, her best friend is ugly. The way I always describe her is like if The Exorcist and Chucky had a child. That's what she looked like. That's the only way I could describe her. And so like after that, it switched to me sleeping on my brother's bed. Like we're side by side, I think. And like so I was sleeping in the bed, and then all of a sudden like I woke up in my dream. And like I'm still in the corner where I see everything. Like I have a whole room, a view of the room.
Visual.
Yeah. And so like I wake up in my dream, and like I slept with a certain blanket at the time. So I grabbed the blanket.
Your towel.
Shut up.
It was for security. Let's take a moment and put Colleen on blast. She has a security towel.
Hey, leave me alone, okay? It's a safety net for me. Leave me alone. Anyway, shut up, Cassie. You're interrupting my story.
No, my mom choked.
Anyway, so I grab that and I get up and like I like step off the side of the bed and I'm walking and like I'm tensed up holding up. Shut up, Cassie. So I tensed up holding it, and as I'm like going in front of the bed to walk out and I'm almost towards the door, there's like a person in the corner, like right where my head was when I was sleeping. So there's like a person right there, and then right whenever I was finna leave the room, and she screamed at me. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen the movie, like the Mortal Kombat?
Mm-hmm.
That.
Say it loud.
You say it, I can't say it.
The Mortal Kombat.
That. I don't know if y'all seen that movie, like the old one, where who's it? Is it Katana's mom? That screams? Kitana's mom, whenever she screams and like destroys all the mountains and stuff. That's what her scream sounded like, and in my dream I like jumped and like ran out, and right when I ran out of the room, I had woken up, and I was like, okay. So I got my blanket, like the way I got out of the bed in the dream is the way I got out whenever I woke up. And as I was walking towards the door, I didn't hear anything, but like something made me jump, and I ran out of the door and ran to my mom's room, where I woke her up saying, "Hi, I sleep with y'all." Cause like I'm scared and all that.
You were crying.
No, I wasn't crying. I had teary eyes, but I wasn't crying.
No, you were crying because Mom said you were crying.
On the second part, I started crying.
Oh, okay.
And so, And so my mom was like, yeah. And she scooted over closer to my dad, and I slept on the edge. And I don't even remember falling asleep at all. Like, I just remember laying down and, like, then all of a sudden, like, I felt something on my arm. And so, like, it was this arm, my left arm, because that's the arm that was hanging off the bed, whatever. So I felt something on my arm, and I looked, and there is this small, like, Jay, hold up here. Sorry. Like, there's this doll, like this size, like, of on my arm, like, on it, and then it was like a solid wooden doll. And, like, the doll's head turned towards me and started smiling. And so I started shaking my hand like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I started shaking my hand trying to get the doll off. But it wouldn't get off, so like I said, I had my security blanket that someone's judging me for. And so, like, I tried calming myself down, and I was breathing, and like, I slowed down my breathing. I was like, okay, this is just a dream. You can wake up. And I grabbed my blanket and I dropped it on my face. And right when I did that, I had woke up, and like my blanket was on my face, so I had woke up. And that's because I slept with my blankets like on my chest or a little bit under, like just on my stomach. So whenever I woke up, it was on my face. And then I started crying, and that's whenever I woke up my mom. And I told my mom, and then she let me sleep in between her and my dad.
And that's when I told you, don't worry, you're safe. As long as you're between me and your dad, you're safe. And I turned around and I hugged you.
Yeah, you couldn't do it the first time.
Hey, I was dead asleep.
That little dog gonna be on your chest, bro.
You thought.
And then, so yeah, go ahead and tell either what is about to tell your parents or dad's parts.
The whole thing was when we started buying this house, it wasn't like that at first. At first, everything was good. For the first maybe 3-4 years, everything was good. The kids were happy because we had free cable in that house. We discovered that we have free cable. I said, well, it'll probably turn off. It'll probably just last like a week, because whoever the person that lived here, she'll probably, the lady, she'll probably get it cut off. But no, a week went by, a month went by, and I said, well, I guess not. Well, this lady will. However, she has this cable. I guess
She has it rigged.
She has it rigged, so we got free cable. The kids were happy. And then it came down to where suddenly was when we started handing out these little black small cable boxes that's the only way you were gonna be able to, receive, the cable. So once all that happened, and we didn't have no more free cable, and the kids were kind of bored not having cable. They
We were
kept
sad.
bugging.
I was sad.
They kept bugging me,
I was bored.
bugging us, like, are y'all gonna get cable? When are we gonna get cable? So, my husband and I, we ended up deciding to go ahead and get cable for the kids. And I think we got the internet also, right?
Yeah.
We got the internet and the cable. So, it came down to the cable man coming. He looked around the house, how they always check for the wires and stuff. And then it turned out that he had to go into the attic. And he was like, how can I get into the attic? And then my husband was like, oh, well, you go into the garage. He's like, oh, okay. So, like, let's say this is the living room.
And
we have.
this picture right there.
Oh, okay, like this is the living room. To come into the house, the door would be right there. And right here would be going into the dining room and the kitchen and the laundry room. So right here was the garage to go into the garage. So he opens the door, and as soon as you open the garage door, you look up, and it was right there to get into the attic. It was a square. So he went and he got his ladder to get up there. So he opened it. When he opened it, none of us was in the garage with him. Everybody, I think, were outside.
Yeah, we didn't want to be in his way.
Yeah, the kids were outside. Josiah was inside. Josiah was always in his room. And then the cable man told my husband and my son that he was gonna go up there and make, I guess, drill a hole or something, and he was gonna hand them down the cable line and for them to pull it. So he was up there, and it took him a while up there. So he was up there for a while, and he was, you know, we could hear him talking to my husband and to Josiah, and they were there, and they say, okay, we got it. He goes, okay, pull it, until, you know, he told them when to stop. And then when that was done, he came out from the attic and came inside the house through the garage. And when we saw him, he was drenched in sweat. He was
Like if he took a shower, like I said in part 1.
He was drenched in sweat and he was red. And we saw him. We looked at him and we kind of looked at him like, dang. And my husband goes, dang, you sweating? He's like, yeah. He goes, I've been in some attics. He goes, but y'all's attic, it's beyond. I mean, it's hot, but this one's twice as hot. I haven't been in an attic like y'all's. Y'all's attic is hot. And not only that, y'all have the own insulation up in the attic. Y'all have, instead of, you know, the insulation looked like cotton. He described it as cotton. And we were like, oh, we do? He's like, yeah, well, we don't know because we haven't been up into the attic. And at the same time, he also said, oh yeah, and there's a black bag up there. We're like, there's a what? He's like, there's a black bag. He goes, I saw that there's a black bag in the attic. And I think nothing else was in there, right?
I don't think so.
And so he mentioned that black bag, and we're like, really? Well, did you move, or did you get it or something? I think he said he moved it out of the way, right?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't remember if he said if he moved it or he just saw it. Kind of startled him because, you know, he just kind of saw it because the attic was so dark. And we're like, oh, okay. So after that, you know, we got cable, we got internet, the kids were happy. And then after slowly but surely, that's when the kids started experiencing things.
That's when I started hearing like knockings and like the doors trying to open. I would hear in the kitchen. In the kitchen, I would hear the cabinet doors and the hutch doors like opening and shutting or like slamming and stuff like that.
Or the dishes falling in the middle of the night. But yeah, it just started, you know, slowly. The kids are the ones that started experiencing it first. Cassie, when she started telling me what she was hearing or what she experienced, and I would tell her, don't show them that you're scared. And she said, but they scare me. I would, don't show them that they scare you, because once they know that they can scare you, they're going to continue picking on you. They're going to be like little bullies to you. They're not going to leave you alone. And I'm sure, don't show them that you're afraid. Just ignore them. Just ignore it. Whatever you hear, ignore it. But Cassie, back then,
I'm scared.
Back then, she wouldn't listen. She was a scary cat.
I still am.
Still is.
Yeah. But yeah, things just started kind of getting ugly in that house. The kids, it got to the point where the kids didn't feel safe in that house. They didn't like being there. They wanted to move out. And you know, it's just things that they experienced and they would tell us and we'd talk about it. And me, I really didn't experience a whole lot. But I do remember when one time Cassie, I woke up, because I always left the hall light on because she was always afraid of the dark. So we would leave the hall light on, or we would leave the bathroom light on, and we would leave the door open to the bathroom, so it could light up the hallway. So I used to have a habit in that house of getting up. I would wake up like 3-4 times during the night, and I would do my rounds, because for some reason it was like I had to get up and check on my kids, check on the house. I would get up, their room, Cassie and Colleen's room, was right next to ours. I would check on them. I would see them uncovered, so I would go and cover them back up, you know, make sure they're, you know, that they're breathing and stuff, that they're okay. and then I would go and check on my son. And sometimes he would be asleep, and there were times that he was still up playing the game. He had his headphones on. And I'm like, "You're still up, Josiah?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right." So then I would go to the living room, to the kitchen, the laundry room, and from the laundry room there was a door, because our house was a double garage, and my side of the garage, well, we would park the car there. The other side of the garage, my husband made it into a recording studio for his band. So through the laundry room, we could go into the recording studio. So I would also open up that door, and I would look in there, turn the light on, everything was okay, shut the door, lock it, then come back around. And then there were times that when I would pass through that garage door, not all the time, but there were certain times or certain days that I felt like this uneasy feeling that I wasn't comfortable. It was like something, my heart would just be like,
See, I told you.
Racing.
That's why I'll be running you fast into the living room or the kitchen. I would run past that door.
yeah, because there were certain days that I would just feel this uneasy feeling, and it got to where I would pass, and then I would go and walk into the hallway, and then I would turn around, and my eyesight would look directly to the garage door, and my heart would be just racing just by looking at the door, and I'm like, so I would go back to the kitchen, and our table, it's big. We have a black table, and the chairs are heavy. So the chairs to the table are heavy, and so I went and I got one of the chairs and I put it in front of the garage door. I go like that. If anybody's in the garage and they open the door, because the garage door didn't lock, and my husband never changed the doorknob to it so we could lock it. He never did it. So it was always, we couldn't lock it. So anybody could go, if somebody got in through the garage, they could walk inside the house. So I got the chair, and since the chairs are heavy, I put it in front of the door, and I said, so if anybody's in there, they want to come in, we will hear it, because they would have to push the door pretty hard to move this heavy chair, and the living room have wood floor. So we'll all, somebody eventually would hear it. So I would go back, check on Josiah again, and I said, are you gonna stay up all night? And he was like, most likely, yeah. I go, okay, well, you need to get some rest, so when you can, get some sleep. He's like, okay, Mom. And then I would check on the girls once again, then I would go and get back in bed. And this was like a constant routine for me. I would get up, like I said, 3 to 4 times during the night.
Sometimes it would be like 6 o'clock in the morning and almost 7, and she'll be like, Jay, you're still awake.
Yeah, he would literally stay up for days, being on that game, talking to his friends online,
and laughing like crazy.
So
I call him the freaking rooster.
Yeah, so he was always in his man cave. So, and then one night I woke up and the bathroom light was on, because and the door was open, so you could see, if anybody's standing there, you would see them. So I'm like this, I'm asleep, and my arm is always like this, and as I was like this, the reason I woke up was because my arm, when you get so cold that your bone starts to hurt. So when I'm like this, asleep, and I wake up to the pain where my bone was hurting, my arm was in pain, and when I went I woke up and I went like this. When I went to bend my arm, it was hard, and I felt my arm was ice cold, like if it was frozen.
Like in a freezer.
And then as I did that, when I went like that, and I started rubbing my arm, I went like that, and then when I went like this, and then I looked towards my feet, towards the hallway, because the bed was like this, and then the door was right there, so I could see into the hallway. I could see to my son's room, to his door, and I see this little girl standing there, but she was like, just like a shadow that was just there, something pitch black. But since I was more asleep than awake, it didn't dawn on me, and I couldn't tell. All I knew is that it could have been Kylie or it could have been Cassie. And I didn't say anything. I just saw, I saw that, and I was like, you know, in my head, I'm like, these girls are, one of them is already awake. So I just started rubbing my arm, and I turned around, and as I turned around, I put the blanket, I covered my arm because my arm was so cold and it was hurting. And my husband, his body, temperature. If it was cold, he's a person to run to warm up with, because he was always hot natured. So I turned around, I covered myself, I threw the blanket over my head, and then, you know, I got like this, and I got real close to my husband's back because I wanted my arm to warm up. And as I did, and once I got like this on my husband's back, real close to his back, then my heart started racing. And then it came to my mind, and I was like, wait a minute, who was standing in front of my door, from my bedroom door? Because I would always leave the bedroom door open because of the kids, especially because of the girls. So it was rarely when I would have my bedroom door closed, and I was like, who's standing in front of the door? And I started thinking back to see, but then I realized that I couldn't tell who it was because it was solid pitch black. All I saw was like a little girl, and it looked like she had a dress on, and I was like, wait a minute, the girls really don't wear dresses. They're mainly in shorts and pants. And then I do remember seeing the long hair, and she was just like just standing like that. And then once I realized that, my heart was like racing, and then I started like I couldn't control my breathing. And then I was like, I am not gonna uncover myself and take a look and see if she's still there or see who it is. It was just like this fear came to me the way I was feeling. That I said, nope, I'm not gonna look. And then I got even a whole lot closer to my husband's body. Like if I literally wanted to go into his body, because that's how scared I felt just by seeing that. When I realized who was there, who was that, and then I was like, it wasn't the girls, because the girls, they don't sleep in dresses. It's rarely when they wear a dress. I had to sometimes fight with them to wear a dress. So, and then I don't think I've ever experienced anything else.
When I was standing beside you.
Oh yes, when I woke up. Also, it was sometime during the middle of the night. I woke up. It was like my eyes would just like automatically just open, and I would get up and do my rounds. So that's what happened that night. I opened my eyes just opened, and when I looked, and like I said, we would leave the bathroom door open and the light on so the hallway won't be so dark. Then I look again, take a double glance, and I see that it's Cassie. And I'm like, Cassie, why are you up? And she's just standing, and she's standing, and I go, Cassie. And I think on the third time when I said, Cassie, and she's like, huh? I go, why are you up? And she starts rubbing her eye, and she's like, somebody's in my bed. And I'm like, what? Go to bed. She's like, Kylie's in my bed. She thought her sister had gone into her bed. Like, Kylie's not in your bed. Yes, she's in my bed, and she's over here rubbing her eye. Oh, Kylie's not in your bed. She's in her bed. She's like, no, Kylie's in my bed. Now I go, no, she's not. Come on. So I get up. I turn the hall light on, right?
No.
I don't remember, because she don't even remember. No, I didn't turn the hall light on. I turned their light on because their door was right beside my bedroom. And I told her, come on. So I grabbed her by the hand, and I told her, come on. I'll show you that your sister's not in your bed. So I turned the light on, and I tell her, see, Kylie's in her bed. Nobody's in your bed. And then when I told her, I turned the light on, I said, see, Kylie's she's on her bed. Nobody's in your bed. Your bed's empty. I told her, well, come on, let's get you in bed. Because I have always tucked in my kids to bed. To go to bed, they always gotta get tucked in. When he would go to bed. When he would go to bed. So I got her, she got in bed. As soon as she lay down, she fell asleep. So I covered her up, and then I turned around and I covered up Kylie. Then I went to go check on Josiah, and he was asleep. I was surprised. I'm like, what? He's asleep. He's not up. I go, this means he's gonna be asleep for probably 2 days, because he's been up for 2-3 days. And this was like in the summer, because we went to school. So, and then in the morning, when we woke up, and Cassie woke up, and when she woke up, I asked her, I go, hey Cassie, why were you up last night? And she's like, what? I go, why were you up last night? And and
Why were you standing beside my bed?
oh yeah, well, why were you standing beside my bed trying to scare people when y'all woke up and you startled me? She's like,
I was like, I never even got up last night. What do you mean?
And I said, yeah, you did. You were standing beside my bed, by my feet. I opened up my eyes and you were just standing there, like the Undertaker, just standing there.
And we were just going back and forth, and because I was like, I never got up last night. I just remember opening my eyes and seeing her covering me up and my room light on, because I thought, well, she's doing her round. She woke. I was uncovered, so she came to cover me up. And thinking about it, when I was, I forgot to mention, when she told me that I was standing beside her on her bed, I remember when I was asleep that when I had opened my eyes, kind of like, when you're gonna turn and face the other way, you kind of open your eyes, you know what I mean. Well, when I did that, I saw this black figure laying like right up beside me, and I remember saying, "Colleen, scoot over," like to get off. And I get my cover and I go like this, and I turn this way, and it was my wall. And then I guess I woke up or what do you call it? Sleepwalk to my mom's room, and was standing there for no telling how long I was there. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I told her you kept telling her, saying that Colleen was in your bed. I said, no, she's not. I guess she is. I don't know, she's not. So I told her what had happened, what I did, and she's like, I don't remember, Mom. Oh well, you did.
And then, like, we know how we say we got that uneasy feeling about the garage. This somebody, Colleen, when I would go in there to check the mail, when my parents would say, Cassie, go check the mail, I would. This girl would lock me in the garage and turn the light off. Sometimes it would be during the night.
She would have to hold it because the door didn't lock.
Yeah, she would be holding the door, and I'm like so scared because like once you enter the garage, the attic is like right there. Mm-hmm. So when you're standing at the garage door,
the attic is right there.
The attic is right there, and that attic is pitch black. I mean black, and I'm in there like, Colleen, stop. Wanting to cry and everything.
And she'd be laughing.
And she'd be laughing. And then when I would do it to her, she would hate me. She'd be crying.
Oh, Colleen, what about when you and Brandon were in the garage?
Guys, are you alone? To the detail.
But if the people didn't watch part 1, then you could remind them. When I said
You got tape on your glasses?
It's called Mexican fixing, and it's not tape, it's a rubber band.
At least hers isn't super glued like mine.
Yeah, Cassie's are super glued.
But yeah, like, are you gonna tell her or no?
I guess. Me and my cousin, Brandon, when we were younger, we were playing around in the garage. And like, it was during like a family gathering or something like that. And so we had squished cans in the garage, and we decided to...
You telling me I got a year insurance and she's not using it?
I haven't taken her to Lubbock.
That's Mom's fault. You act like I could drive.
I haven't gone to Lubbock. I haven't had time.
I mean, I can drive.
So that was the only thing that was going through my head. I was like, I got your insurance and they ain't even using it.
Mom doesn't know.
Okay, continue.
Anyways, so there's crushed cans in there, and we decided to like, hey, the attic's open. So I grabbed a can and I threw it into the attic, and it was a while, like maybe 5-10 seconds before we heard it like make that kind of noise against something. And for some reason, we were just staring at the attic opening. Like, we didn't look away or anything. We just stared. And then after like 15-20 seconds of just staring at the attic, the Coke can flew right back out and landed in between us, like sliding in between us. So we both looked at each other. We were just like, and then we looked up, and then we looked at him. Like, I was on this side, and he was like where I'm at, and I was just like, whoo, and I ran. I pushed him over some stuff to make him trip, and then I ran out, leaving him in there by himself.
Don't ever be with Colleen when something happens because she'll be pushing you in the way to get
It's
first.
free for all, bro. Sacrifice.
That reminds me whenever my friend Michael, like he liked to spend the night at my house, but only for me. But he didn't like spending the night at the house because of all the experiences we're having. And like it was like late at night. We're both playing the game, and he was like, "Hey, can you come with me to get a glass of water? Like, can you come with me to get a drink?" And I was like, "No, just go ahead. Just go get a drink. Go ahead, go get a drink." He was like, "No, man, come with me to get a drink." I was like, "Come, go." He was like, "No, come with me."
The house is big and it's scary.
We're in high school, okay? So we were in high school, and I was like, "All right, fine." So we both got up. We walked. We didn't turn on any of the lights. We walked in the pitch black. The only light that we used to see was the refrigerator light. So I was like, "Okay, I'm here. I might as well get a drink also." So I opened up the refrigerator. I don't remember what I got, but I was serving myself a drink, and then he got a drink of water. And I think we made ourselves a sandwich. Like he got something to drink, and then I got a sandwich. I think that's what it was. And remember the transition? We had tile in the kitchen and then wood in the living room. So we were walking, and as we were walking, we were kind of walking like at the same speed, and then we heard like a delay walking. Like we heard like walking like mismatching our steps like behind us. And then I stopped, and Michael stopped, and I was like, "Wait, hold up." And then he stopped, and I was like, "Okay." So we started walking, and then as soon as we walked from the tile to the wood, as soon as we got like about probably like 4 feet onto the wood, we stopped. I was like, "Stop." We both stopped, and then you heard the transition from somebody walking onto the tile, onto the wood, like right behind us, like just following us. Heck no, man. Like, I took off so fast. Michael was right behind me. We had like a narrow corridor, so imagine 2 people trying to squeeze through a corridor. And I was gonna lock him outside my room.
Yeah, you shut the door in front of
on him. I shut the door. I was trying to shut the door on him. I was like, "Nope."
You staying out there with that demon.
But yeah, it was crazy.
How about when that you actually saw it?
Oh, it was Yeah, it was Michael again. Michael decided to be at the house as well that night, and he was staying the night. And we were just in the living room. The way it was designed was we had a couch right here, a couch this way, and then the couch was looking this way. This couch was looking that way. And we had our TV, and then the hallway door was like right there, right by the other couch. And I was on the long couch. He was on the short couch, and we were both laying down. And we're just staring up at the ceiling, talking about life and what we're gonna do and what can we do to, be better and all this other stuff. And as we're talking, I look into the hallway, and then I see like this blacker than black figure. It was like super dark, but it was kind of like peeking over. It was peeking around the corner of inside the hallway. So if you were looking through the hallway, all you would see is half of its face and part of its shoulder, and it looked like it was like peeking sideways, like it was as if it was leaning.
And he said it was like really tall. It was kind of like tall as that right there.
Yeah, it was super tall. It was like as tall as the top of the door frame. And I'm taller than my dad, so I knew that it wasn't my dad. So there was nobody else inside the house that's that tall. So I look into the hallway and I see it. It's just solid pitch black. It is darker than dark itself. And I see it, and I'm just staring at it and staring at it and staring at it. It's not going away, so I'm like, okay, I want to do what always happens. You look away, and then you look back at it, and then it'll be gone, right? So we're still talking or whatever. I look away, I look right back at it. It's still there, staring. Just staring. And then I look away, look back, it's still there, just staring at us. And I tell Michael, and I don't take my eyes off of it. I'm looking at it. I tell Michael, like, hey, Michael, turn around. And he was like he's laying there, he's looking at me like this. He was like, no, man. And I was like, Michael, and I need to make sure that I'm not going crazy. Turn around and look in the hallway. He was like, no, man, I'm not turning around.
I mean, I wouldn't want to look either.
I was like, Michael, turn around. He was like, no, I'm not turning around. I was like, I need to make sure. And he was like, no, man, I'm not turning around. And he was just so terrified to turn around.
And then not only that, Michael was right there by the hallway.
Yeah, and Michael's a bigger dude. So he was like, no, man, I'm not turning around. I was like, oh my gosh. So eventually, I just kept staring at it. And then, like, at this point, it wasn't giving off any negative energy. It was just kind of there. So, and then eventually, whenever I looked back at the ceiling, I looked at it again. After like 30, probably I'll say about like 30 minutes of me just staring at it, it just like it finally, you know, disappeared. The next time I looked up and I looked back at it. But yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and then like in that house, like with me, I would get the feeling like when I would be in the kitchen. Usually, my parents would ask me to wash dishes. So it's like the sink's right here, and then the back door's right here. So it's like the back door had like a top window, and every time I would go into the kitchen, and I would always feel somebody staring at me and watching me through that window, and it was just like this ugly, ugly feeling. And
your dad, when he said that he thought that just he was in the dining room because we had the computer in the dining room.
Okay, and then like you know, if you watch part 1, where that arrow's pointing to the back of the house, that not that window by the arrow, but the other window on where the porch is at. That
the big window
first window is not the big window, but beside
it's
it.
the big window and then the small window, but it's the dining room.
Yes.
Or the kitchen.
He was sitting right there.
Yeah, and he said that he saw and heard the front door open, so he thought Josiah was home from school.
For lunch.
Yeah, for lunch, and he was there, so he really didn't turn around or anything. And then I think he saw like somebody like pass behind him, like through the screen of the computer, and he turns around and nobody was there. So he got up and to go see the front door was open. So he went to go look for Josiah in the room, in the restroom, and he didn't find him.
Yeah, because he had the front door locked, right?
No, sometimes your dad would just close it. He wouldn't lock it because since it was for lunch, he never had it locked because since Josiah would always go home for lunch. So he didn't think anything of it. My husband's not easy to scare, you know. So and then one time he said that he was sitting at the computer again, and while he was sitting there, and he said that like right on this side of his ear that he heard somebody say, "Watch."
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
It was this ear because he's by the window.
Well,
One of the ears.
No, it was this ear because he told me. He said it was the one by the window.
Oh.
So it's right here.
Yeah.
So, and that he said that he heard somebody say, "Watch it," and that he just like turned around like, "What the heck?" And he started looking around to see who it was, but nobody was there. So he got up to look around, and he didn't see anybody. Nobody was in the house. Nobody was home. The kids were in school. I was working. So, but he didn't get scared because my husband, you know, he wasn't an easy person to scare or frighten, especially not with stuff like that. I don't know what else.
Okay. I was just waiting for y'all to tell y'all stories so I can start my list of what I forgot to mention.
This video's rated an hour. What do you mean?
So, yeah. You didn't even finish telling all your story. Where you were hit.
Me?
Where you were hit by a demon.
I did. That was it.
That was his first one.
That's my first one.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay.
You were
Yeah,
too
like
busy
that.
concentrating.
Okay.
There's another one I remember when Grandma spent the night.
Oh, well, tell it, girl. Don't be holding back. Tell them.
I just remembered. And so, my grandma and my cousin. My grandma and my cousin were spending the night at the house, And for some reason, I don't remember why, but my mom had put mattresses down in the living room around the couches, so me and my sister could sleep there. And like for some reason that night, I was like begging my mom to put something in front of the garage door. I was like, can you put something there, please, please, please? And so she finally put a computer.
Oh, the monitor.
The computer monitor, in front of that we had in front of the garage door. And everyone else was asleep, and I was awake, and I was on my tablet, and I was watching YouTube with one headphone in and the other one out. Then all of a sudden, my video paused, and then on the garage door, I just heard like 2 loud bangs, as if someone was kicking against the garage door trying to get out. And after that, I like threw the blanket over my head and fell asleep, because I was like, nope.
Heck no, and then my mom would leave me on the freaking couch when I would fall asleep, not even taking me to my room or nothing. Leave me there to be.
Hey, I couldn't carry you no more. You had gotten.
But she could have at least took into consideration and be like, hey, Cassie, do you want to go to your bed?
Sometimes you wouldn't even.
Or you want to be out here with them demons?
For real. No, but there was this one time where my best friends were over, and we were all laughing, and my brother wasn't, huh?
That thing, I was swinging it around and then it hit me in the neck, and I was like, that's not safe.
That side too.
There, it's locked.
And so my brother was staying over at my aunt's house for the summer with my cousins, because this is when things at the house was just, everything was hectic. He just didn't want to be home. And so me and my friends are over, we're laughing and everything, and it's dark, it's nighttime already. And we're all laughing, and I'm like, let's go to the room, right? So we go to my brother's room, because I took over it. And we were going to the room, and when we opened the door, we all 3 walked in together, and when we opened the door, we saw the recliner was moving really fast. Were you there too?
I was in Mom's room listening to TV, ignoring y'all.
Well, the recliner was moving really fast, like rocking back and forth. And then we were like, okay, that's weird. So we go and sit on the bed. Me and my friend are like sitting where the feet go on the wood. And then my other friend is like beside the recliner, and it was like by the closet door. And she goes and sits on it. And then we start saying stuff, and we're like, oh heck no. So we all book it, because we just realized that the recliner was moving by itself. We're all slow, so don't judge us. We rather go in there and make some jokes and then run out later. And then there was this
Did they ever spend the night again?
no. Well, Cece always did, even though Mama scared her.
Y'all didn't run out though. Y'all piled
and
on each
Abigail
other.
too.
Y'all
Yeah.
piled on each other on the bed, screaming for me. And my response was just, what?
And there was this one night where I was, like I said, I had to go over to my brother's room. So it was like 3 in the morning, past 3 in the morning. I was laying down, and I had a lamp on. And my brother, let's say, picture it this way. So the room is like this, right? The door is right here. The bed is like this, but this is room door. The bed is like this. And then by the closet is like the dresser and with the mirror. And so when I'm laying down, I can see, laying down closer to the door, I could see, like, even though I can look to the side, I see the door, but like, you know what I mean? Look through the mirror.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The door.
You lost me. That's because I live in that.
Well, anyways, I'm complicated, but anyway.
But that's
Some people might catch on to what I mean. But anyways, I was laying down, and I hear the door creak, and I look through the mirror to look at the door, because I didn't want to turn and look at the door myself. And I see like the door cracking open, and I'm just like, what the heck? And I turn to the side to look at the door, and I'm waiting to see the cat. And then it was like that. I kept doing that for a long while, and I was like, Mingxi, which is my female cat, and the one that would, in part 1, I mentioned that she would chase the other animals like a block away. I would call her like, Mingxi, is that you? And nothing. And then I get this. She had walked in later, and then she had left the room, and so she leaves the room, and I'm like, I'm a chicken. I take my cat. I used to take her with me everywhere in the house because I felt like she made me feel safe. Because you know the cats, when they hiss, they scare away the entity or whatever, the ghost, demon, whatever.
And that child took care of you anyways.
Yeah, and so she leaves, and I'm just sad. And then what's it called? The door cracks open again, and I hear it, and I turn, and then I start getting on my phone because I'm starting to get scared. And so I get this I can smell this real bad, like, what is it called, like sulfur smell, like bad. And I thought like the cat had pooped. Like, what the heck, did the cat poop in my room? I mean, my brother's room, but my room at the time. Did she poop in here? And I was looking around, nothing, and then all of a sudden, like, the smell went away. And I was just like, what the heck? And the next morning, I had brought it up to my mom and my dad, and they said that means that a spirit was passing, which is like not a good spirit, which is a demon. And I was just like, that's scary.
It was either a demon or it was. Yeah, it had to be a demon because when it's death, the dogs usually bark and they howl.
Well, we all know that.
Yeah, but
Maybe
not
some people don't
everybody.
know.
Not everybody knows.
Well, anyways, and then there was this one time while I was asleep, and when I was asleep, the demon started to. I could literally look through the phone to see what you were doing. Instead, I looked aside to see what you were doing, and I missed the whole thing. No, but there was this one time, well, 2 times because it happened twice. I was asleep, and then this demon that would always mess with me freaking punched me, and my head blown back inside the pillow, and I had woke up like, well, who the heck hit me? I woke up mad, and my eye was like throbbing. It was hurting so bad, and that happened twice to me. Not a pretty feeling. Is there anything else that you left out?
I told my friend about what we've been talking about, what Cass has been recording. And I said, yeah, in the attic there was a black bag in there, but we had thought about getting one of the kids to go up there and getting
Josiah.
it. But it never got to it. For some reason, we never got to it. And it's probably a good thing that we really never messed with it. And then I told my friend that one about the cable man going up there and everything, you know, what happened and everything. And I said that he had mentioned that there was a black bag up there. And when I told her that, she said, well, that was black magic. So whoever, not telling which owner that lived, you know, prior, you know, before us in that house, you know, if they did any kind of rituals in that house or whatever, and maybe these demons, you know, were trapped. To me, I think they were trapped up in the attic, no telling how long they have been trapped up there. And once the attic was opened, I honestly do believe that it was
And like it broke the whole spell.
Yeah, like it broke the spell, it broke the seal, and they were free to start messing with whoever was in the house. And you know, and to me, I don't think they were spirits. I think they were demons because they started, you know, messing with my kids.
Me mostly.
Yeah, mostly Cassie, because like I said, once they know that, you know, that who's the scaredest, they're gonna mess with that person the most.
Because if you don't, their energy right.
Yeah, and then, you know, there were a couple of times that, I mean, you know, things just started getting bad in the house. You know, it just started. We just went through a lot in that house. You know, people really don't know exactly what we went through in that house, but we know because we experienced it. And My husband would probably would have had some more, stuff that maybe that he experienced, but
He never really told us anything.
yeah, because he really didn't. He just like he would just
Won't even pay attention to us.
yeah, like if he would hear something, whatever, he would look and he'd be like, nah. Like I said, he wasn't afraid of that.
He wasn't fazed by nothing.
No, but since he's not here, he passed away 6 months ago. So we're just whatever we went through, what we experienced, and but yeah, things just slowly but surely in that house things started.
It's going on 8 months.
August.
September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Oh,
Okay,
7. Not 6, 7.
It's 6.
Well, y'all both
Well, it's
wrong.
6 months.
Number y'all both wrong.
No, it's going on 7 months. Of the 29th, it'll be 7 months.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, see, I'm right. It's been 6 months.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, so and it's just he just wouldn't pay. He wouldn't mind. But things did get ugly in that house. Nobody knows everything that we went through in that house. And once we moved out, because we lost the house, and when we moved out to another house, we were surprised on that first night because Kylene actually she fell asleep in the room that we said, okay, Kylene, this is gonna be your room, and she was like, I want to be here by myself because
Finally had my own room.
she didn't like being by herself, especially with everything that was going on in that house on Quincy Street.
And after everything that my mom knew what was going on, and we would come to her room scared, trying to sleep with her and my dad on the bed, she would throw us on the floor.
She kicked us to the floor.
But like when she would kick us to the floor, I would never like to look into under the bed because I felt like something was under the bed, like when you feel like a presence or something.
Hey, but I made it comfy. I made it to where it was real soft and
It was
everything.
still on the floor.
Well,
I know it was still
That's no
scary,
comfort.
but it was still scary because when sometimes she would tell
Sleeping on
us
bed then.
she would tell us not to lay beside her, like on the floor, so we would have to sleep by the feet. And where the feet is where the door entrance is at. So me and my sister are like low key thinking, hopefully we don't get dragged throughout this hallway.
But the
So-
thing is, it was a queen size bed, and then
And-
having the two of y'all there, your dad
Right,
was like,
honey. And
your dad was always like, I got a crick on my neck.
Low key, Dad elbowed me in the nose on purpose. Just so I
not only
stopped
that,
going to sleep with
when my
y'all.
dad would notice that sometimes when my dad sometimes when my dad wouldn't know that my sister would get into bed
No, he was just.
with
I
them,
was like,
right, honey?
oh.
And sometimes when dad wouldn't know that you would get into bed with them, he would put his arm around you and he would open his eyes and be like, "It's you."
Yeah. He'll put his arm around me, and there's times where if I'm awake, I'm just like, wrong person, dude. I am not.
He did that to me too once, and I was awake, but I didn't want to get up. I barely woke up, and then I feel my dad's arm go around me, and I'm like this, looking up towards the ceiling, and my dad's with his face down to the pillow, and he goes like this, and then I guess he notices the thickness because I'm petite. My mom was thick, chunky.
Yeah,
She was chunky.
I was a little bit more chunky.
So when he felt bones, he opened his eyes and picked up his head and saw it was me, and he smiled really big.
and he's like,
No.
He did that to me. He was asleep and he turned around and he's like, bah! I woke up and I was like, what the heck? And I sat up and I felt something going down my nose, like on my lip. So I went to the restroom and I was bleeding. Then you just hear me, Mom!
No, but
He
continue
tried to
on.
help me stop my nosebleed. Freaking elbowed me in the face.
Okay, rewind back to when Colleen was staying in her room.
yeah, in this new house that we moved into, and before the night was over, I mean, she was in the room watching movies.
I was reading.
Well, you had the TV on. You were watching videos, and yeah, she loves to read. If you ever want to send her anything, send her books. She loves to read. And she was there. Josiah and Cassie were in the room, and then I remember. I think I went, and I'm like, "Oh, Kylie's not in here with y'all." They're like, "No." And then I was like, and about that house, I was like, oh, I like y'all's closet because Kylie can sneak in from her closet into your room and scare you.
Connecting.
Yeah, they were connected. And she's like, I don't like that. She's going to be walking in. She's going to be in the closet. I'm going to be changing. And she's going to be looking through that little hole watching me change.
And she did do it. And even if I covered it with a sock or something,
Fall out.
all I hear is her. All I hear is like kind of like moving, and I'm looking. I turn around and I look at the door and I'm like this, and I see it, and then before I know it, I see that softball and she's and I'm like,
And
That's
then,
how I would talk to her, because it was my closet door, then it'd go like that, and then it'd be hers. So it's kind of like in a Z shape.
yeah. So, and then I'm going to go check on her, and she was sound asleep. And I went to go tell them, I'm like, guess what? They're like, what? Kylie's asleep. What? By
we're
herself?
like, nuh-uh. And we
Oh,
all
yeah.
went in there like a family reunion.
Yeah.
Together.
Right, as she's asleep, you all walk in, just like, she's asleep.
Yeah, and they couldn't believe it because she would not fall asleep on her own. She had to be with somebody. And then, so everybody falls asleep that night. And then I got up, got ready, and then I started making breakfast. And I guess once I started making breakfast, they smelled the bacon, so they started waking up. And then when they woke up, they went straight to the kitchen, and I looked at them. They're all rubbing their eyes and like, morning. And, oh, well, how'd y'all sleep?
Wait, what did you say? Now you want to go check on us?
No.
That we woke up
Yeah, we
because we
woke up,
smelled
they smelled
food
that
since we're
food.
fat.
Yeah, and then when they walked in, and they're like, oh, and I go,
I was the first one.
yeah, she was like, oh, you're making something to eat? I go, yeah, I'm making some breakfast. You hungry? Yeah. So, and then Josiah and Kylie come in, and then where they're talking, then I asked them, I go, so, how did y'all sleep? And then they say, good. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good. And I go, Kylie, how'd you sleep? Sleeping all by yourself in your own little room. And she was like, she was like, you good. And then, and then I asked the kids, so how do y'all feel? And then these two, I remember Kylie responded or not, but these two, they said safe.
I said peaceful and safe.
They said peaceful and safe. And then I was like, that really, touched me a lot because I was like, wow, my kids feel safe.
Don't cry now. No, I'm playing.
But on Quincy Street in that house, even though I loved my house because it was big, roomy, but everything we went through, it was very ugly, so, but when we moved out and hearing my kids, in that house, my kids didn't feel safe anymore. And they really couldn't sleep right. And hearing them saying peaceful and safe, it just it touched my heart because I was like, my kids feel safe, and then I would still get up like in the middle of the night and do my rounds, but not as much like I used to on Quincy Street because I didn't feel that presence of the demons and that the house we had moved into because it was more peaceful. And I was just glad, and every time we passed by there, because it's right in front of high school, and every time I take Kylie to school, I tell her, I'm like, I miss my house. I don't miss what we went through in that house, but I do miss my house and our big backyard, because, the kids love being in the back because the yard was big. But, I don't know, everybody grows in their own way, everybody experienced their own thing, and they all have grown. They're good kids.
And so,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna insert a picture here of what I'm reading. My friend, she had messaged me after watching part 1. Wait, after reading, after she watched part 1, and she had messaged me and she had told me this. She's like, girl, I never told you, but the first time I went to your house with you, Lee, I remember you took me to the garage with you to say hi to your dad and ask him something. I can't remember exactly. But I know he was playing with his band people. But I remember seeing a little boy standing in like the corner just looking at everyone in there, scared and crying. And when I looked at him for a minute, and when I was getting ready to ask you who he was, I looked away and I looked back, and he was just gone. So I never wanted to say anything because I didn't want to scare no one. But now I'm like, they knew. And the few times that I had gone after that, I think one other thing happened, and I was like, oh nah. And then she said something else happened to her, and she was like, the second or the third time she had came over, we were big chilling. I had asked your dad, could I use the restroom, and he giggled and was like, Mija, you don't have to ask. And he told me where it was. And I went, and like when I was getting ready to walk out, I turned the light off before I opened the door, and I felt someone breathe in my ear. And I turned the light back on so quick and turned around, and no one was there. And I kept telling myself, ignore it, just walk away. I remember telling my brother when I got home, and he was shook, but we were living in a house where the same stuff was happening. And so yeah, now you know it, we're not lying or saying, like making this whole thing up, because my friends seen it and experienced it personally, and my brother's best friend seen it and experienced it personally. So so yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this wonderful video of us telling our story time in our awesome paranormal house. Not really, but if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe, and yeah, and turn on your post notifications like I said, and thank you for watching. Peace.
Need napkin before you start.
Stop doing that. Just Dad used to do that, and I'm just like, stop doing that. Some more.
We're gonna be like,
Oh,
so a ghost was coming in.
I was zooming to your face.
So I ran. I was like, I tripped my friend and everything. He was a lost cause. Don't know where he went.
He's still missing till this day.